Hello. Welcome back, my beautiful souls, to another video on Cracked Wide Open. Welcome back to my channel. I so appreciate you guys returning to visit with me and to share another video on Cracked Wide Open. Namaste, everybody. Namaste. Today I want to kind of talk about a topic, is being aware of thoughts. Well, I expressed that being aware of my thoughts or coming to the realization that I was not my thoughts during my awakening was my greatest accomplishment. It was realizing that I was not my thoughts, my mind, or my body, right? That I knew my body was mass, and that I knew my mind was the ego, and I know spirit is consciousness. So I want to talk a little bit about that with you guys today. Again, I want to say namaste, everybody. I hope you beautiful souls are doing amazingly well and you're having a fabulous weekend. I want to talk about like the dimensions of consciousness beyond the thinking mind. Beyond the stories of the conditioned mind, the poor little me, the me made up story, right? Behind the thought, there's a space. There's a space, and it's called awareness. And this is a place you have to discover, my darling. This is a place that you have to discover for yourself. That's why they call it awareness. Many have not made the quantum leap into an awakening yet, therefore they don't have awareness. Once they make the quantum leap, they will have awareness. That's how awareness comes about. Obtaining awareness. A lot of people will ask me, how do you do that? How do you obtain it? How did you obtain it? Well, you still the mind. Find a way to quiet the voice in the head. The quieter that the mind can become, then you'll begin to see this gap. They'll begin to get a gap of awareness, and it'll begin to rise within you. And the more awareness of that gap that's present, the more thoughts will begin to subside for you. And it becomes easier and easier each time you do it, and easier. You're teaching the mind, right? You're rewiring and refiring the brain. You're teaching it a different thought pattern and set of beliefs. And the more awareness that's present within you, the more your thoughts of your old egoic mind pattern and limiting beliefs, the more it will fall away and the egoic mind will begin to die. The egoic mind does not want to die. It needs enemies to stay alive, and it will pick sides. It doesn't care what side it picks. If it's on the winning side and it realizes the course has been changed and it has to go to the losing team, it has no problem going to this side and raising its voice, or to this side raising its voice. It's an egoic mind pattern, a habitual mind pattern that we were taught in our upbringing. Limited beliefs, limited behavior that causes a thought. Consciousness gives rise to thought. Thought gives rise to emotions. And generally, you're running on an old pattern, an old egoic pattern of limited mind beliefs and situations that cause you to behave in a specific way and reap havoc on your body, cause pain and suffering for you and everyone around you. So I want to talk with you about these things. You'll be learning how to create a task and rewire the brain and refire its neurons in the brain, right? This is where the true healing is going to take place, where our autoimmune system is going to kick in, and the body is in a magical, wonderful instrument, a machine, if you will, and it will begin to heal itself. This is where the true healing can kick into your body, and it begins to heal itself on a cosmic level, nature at its best. Spirit heals all beings. Go outside, look at the wildlife. It won't take you long to see how miraculous our world is and that we live in it. Many of us, because we have not taken the quantum leap, cannot even see the world around us. They don't see the beauty. They don't see the healing that takes place. You can start to do this by being a witness of your thoughts in the here, in the right now. You can stay present, right? If you feel a thought, allow the thought to come in. Consciousness gives rise to thought. It's no more different than the wind outside your window, and it's fleeting. I promise, if you walk it like a dog and don't engage the thought, it won't create an emotion that you will feel in your body, and it will leave as quickly as the thought came in without creating an emotional response in your body. It's beautiful. You must be the witness of your thoughts in the right here, in the right now. You have to stay vigilantly present in the now and feel your thoughts and the emotions that may rise that the thought creates within your body. At that point, ask yourself, where does that thought come from? Ask yourself, why does it come? Did I learn this? Did someone teach me it? How come I have it? What's the root cause? Sit with the questions. Allow the intuition to answer. The intuition is soft. It's gentle. It whispers. If it jumps in and gives you a loud, screaming voice and answers the question, that's the egoic mind blurting out a response to your question, because it's trying to save itself, and it will say or do or tell you whatever it wants as long as you pay attention to it. You can ask it just to quiet down, just to be quiet and sit. And if you do that, it's not going to do it. It's going to be like a 5-year-old child that wants that gum in the checkout stand when you go out the grocery store line. No matter how many times you tell him, he's going to have that gum in his pocket when he leaves the store. Don't talk to the mind. Don't talk to the voice in the head. Allow it to, if it answers you, allow it. Don't engage it. Walk it like a dog. The more you walk it like a dog, what will happen is the thoughts that begin to come into you will get less and less and less and less. And you will realize, ooh, my mind is beginning to calm. While you're doing the investigation and you're searching for the root cause of these questions that you're asking, and you allow your intuition to answer you, will give you key points as to where that thought came from in the first place. Because you're not your thoughts. Your thoughts are fleeting, and they will give rise to an emotion. And it will be an emotion based on a belief system or a thought pattern you were raised with. Usually a painful one. And it's based on your beliefs and your upbringing, so it's personal to you. It doesn't make it true to me. It's true to you. So the self-investigation, key. The habitual mind pattern is in the grips of a collective ego. It's killing us on a vast level. Our habitual mind pattern of thought is egoic in nature, and it causes the very separation between you and I, you and other, right? It's just don't engage it. Just simply don't engage the thought You don't have to respond to everything you think, do you? You don't. Set yourself free by not engaging in the thoughts and by asking some profound self-inquiry questions. Who am I? What do I want? Why am I thinking that? Because awareness is the midpoint. Awareness is the midpoint between dimensions. It's the midpoint between dimensions that I have spoke of before. It's the gap. It's the bridge. It's the space between consciousness and subconsciousness. Right? You are the light of Christ consciousness. That's who you truly are. You just don't know it. Christ consciousness is without conceptualization. That's what I want you to keep in mind, because that will help keep you rooted and grounded. Christ consciousness keeps you rooted and grounded. Okay? The Buddha call it emptiness. They call it the kingdom of heaven. They say nirvana. Many people are slumbering. Many souls are going around and they're operating from an egoic mind pattern, harming themselves and others. While enlightened beings, they're coming from a heart space of unconditional love, joy for all mankind, and they are sharing the gifts that their Creator is showing them by the veil being dropped to share with other sentinel beings, because there is no separation between you and I. You and I are Christ consciousness, oneness, God, Buddha, Spirit, whatever it is you identify with. So many of these slumbering beings have not taken the quantum leap yet. 1% of the population this occurs to. It's not a big percentage, right? And many of these slumbering souls are operating on an egoic mind pattern that they were raised with, that they believe to be true, and it's pseudo, it's false. And if you can do some of these things that I'm offering as suggestions and roadmaps and stop signs for you, things will begin to happen to you. If you can do some of these things, the judgment will begin to fall away. You will no longer have an agenda. You will see and recognize Christ consciousness in everyone you come across. I run across beings now where I'm aware they're unaware or have not made the shift yet. I know it, they don't know it, or maybe they do know it and don't know how to get to awareness. What I do at that point is I turn inward to me and my Creator of love, unconditional love, and I say a quick prayer to my guides, my angels, and ascended masters, and I ask them, how can I be of service to this sentinel being right here, right now, in the now? How can I be of service? They do not know what they're doing. I turn the other cheek and I forgive them and I ask how I can be of service. That's what God asked us to do, turn the other cheek, for they know not what they do. When you do this, you will begin to ask yourself some questions. How can I be of service to this person? What can I do to be loved and lovable and share those qualities? We must become those qualities. Pure consciousness is love. Pure consciousness is love, and we need to become those qualities. Our mind analyzes everything. It's like an analysis going on in there. Everything is sensory input that we take in 24 hours a day, 24/7, 7 days a week. All that sensory input that comes into us, that's sent to us, goes right to the brain, it's decoded, and it's put into this little neat compartmental box, the egoic compartmental box. That compartment is based on a habitual thought pattern or limited beliefs that you have. Those beliefs, you are born out of this world as pure consciousness. Those beliefs were taught to you from the age of 0 to 7. You took them up, you lived them, you knew they were truth, and you built yourself a conceptual I, me, self story around that. And that is what you keep repeatedly telling yourself with the voice in the head. I want to challenge you to ask yourself some questions. I want to challenge you to investigate. Do some self-inquiry. Why do you think that thought? Why does it make you feel the way it makes you feel? Who taught you that? Is it even true? In my own self-inquiry, my investigation, thoughts were fleeting, and they meant nothing until I assigned a meaning or attached a thought meaning to them. The minute I did that, they created an emotion within my body that arose, and it usually was not a nice emotion, and it caused me to react and respond in the way that caused harm to me and, by the very retrospect, of everyone around me. It's all it does. It's a conceptual mind-based story that I created for myself. It's no fault of our own that we're doing this. It is a false limiting belief we were taught, the voice in the head. I created a story around mine just as you do around yours, and it drove me. Stop driving the voice in the head. Stop feeding the monster. It's always hungry, it's insatiable, and it will come back for more food. It will change sides at a drop of a hat because it knows it's dying, and you are its host, and it wants to take its host down. Start by not responding to the voice in the head. Don't answer questions. Don't engage it. Don't talk back to it. Ask yourself, who's asking those questions? Who's answering those questions back? Who am I? Listen, if we don't even know what we're doing, that we're doing this to ourselves, we are unaware. And no longer can you say you're unaware. You're aware now, and you can assist yourself and others to find the way. I no longer respond or react automatically. Do you know how freeing that is? Do you know how liberating it is to be sitting here in unconditional love, peace, and joy, and not responding or reacting on an egoic mind pattern I was taught that's pseudo, false anyway? So be the seeker. Ask yourself, do thoughts serve me? Those thoughts serve me, or do they make me feel bad? Where are they coming from? How come I have them? The dysfunction of the habitual mind pattern takes us down the rabbit hole, if you will. Look around on social media for 1 minute. It won't take you long to spot it because it's all over the place, right? And that's why God speaks of this in the Bible when he says, you can look at your brother with such a splinter in your own eye. You're missing the mark. You're sinning. And this is why I say, stay vigilant, investigate. Don't do it conceptualizing the idea of thought and then assigning it meaning. That's a chronic direction that you're taking your mind into. And over a period of time, that damage causes a dysfunction and a disease in the body. Just look at the Holocaust. Look at 9/11, just to mention a couple. And if enough of us change ourselves, we can change our world, this planet that we live on, can't we? We can share with each other and allow the trickle effect to take hold. Tell another, tell another, tell another. Where one or more are gathered, God, there he is in the midst. He wants us to love life and to live it, not study one another and beat the hell out of one another and tear our world and universe apart. This planet is in the grip of extinction, and we are the last remaining species on planet. The planet and us as a species need to evolve and to wake up. You can help by changing yourself and healing and refusing to allow the egoic mind take you down the rabbit hole. Stay conscious and walk it like a dog. Stay present, right? Stay present in oneness with God. These are all learned behaviors we were taught and responses that can be changed. You can rewire and refire your brain and your body to create a different type of response. My name is Star Delta 9. If you have comments, questions, sound off in the comment section. That's your section. And if there's something you want to know, your higher self is seeking answers. Ask. Namaste.